Cosmos Hub's CosmWasm execution layer may be coming to life with Cosmos Hub Prop 792. But is it really the Cosmos Hubs, or is it an execution layer for someone else? Funding for the so-called DeFi Hub was secured from the Cosmos Hub community pool when Prop 72 passed, with 50,000 atoms going towards its development. A seemingly better alternative for Hub minimalists than enabling CosmWasm on the Cosmos Hub. However, this spend proposal did not appear to have the level of oversight that the Cosmos Hub community should have advocated for. The consumer chain DeFi Hub, known as Neutron, is planning to airdrop a mere 7% of its NTRN tokens to the atom stakers. On top of that, there is no clear economic model that returns value to the atom token. Let's dive into both of these developments. As can be seen here, there is a 12% drop for the community. This includes the 7% total supply drop to atom stakers, and the remainder of the community tokens will be used for bootstrapping initial liquidity and incentives for providing liquidity. The eyebrow-raising part of this distribution is the 11% given to early backers. The community has yet to learn who these early backers are, and there was no mention of them in Prop 72. The early backers, along with the founders, make up 34% of the total token supply. Familiar faces on Cosmos Twitter had a general consensus of praise and excitement for the airdrop. Many pointed towards the fact that the atom stakers were being dropped 58.3% of the initial circulating supply to distract from the fractional 7% total supply being airdropped. The remaining 54% of the NTRN token supply is going towards the Neutron DAO. The exact breakdown of the DAO can be seen here. The unfortunate thing to note about the token distribution is that the early backers and founders will exert a dominant majority of the voting power. Neutron has claimed that the founders will not have voting power in the DAO while their tokens are locked up, but how this will be enforced isn't quite clear. Regardless, the early backers will still hold the majority of the voting power, as a portion of the community tokens are locked up for LP incentives. As these LP incentive tokens are released, the voting power of the founders will start to increase as their tokens unlock. It appears that, under the often highly touted ethos of self-funding and public goods, funding from the Cosmos Hub community was successfully secured. Yet, Neutron does not seem to be a public good. Is it really the Cosmos Hub's execution layer? By the hub, for the hub? The Neutron DAO's tokens will be overwhelmingly controlled by the voting power of the few founders and still unknown entities. Extracting liquidity from the DAO while the community is left holding the bags appears to be a real possibility. Instead of extracting funds from a community pool, it will be cleverly done through a DAO. It seems as if this could be Maoism, multi-centralized, autonomous organizationism, and quite literally actual Maoism, dressed up as Daoism. Maoism is a doctrine to capture state power through a combination of armed insurgencies, kind of like multiple props jammed down our throat at once, with Props 790 through 793. Mass mobilization, kind of like Cosmoverse and new curated governance channels. And strategic alliances, kind of like Neutron and Stride. This is not to say that all funding activities will be used for some nefarious purpose. This is just to point out something that we've been pointing out on this publication for some time now. Allowing for a few centralized persons and or entities to make funding decisions is not what most of us got into crypto and Web3 for. Most have just come to accept it and hoping that it will pump their bags. Cut flower ethics are in full force in Cosmos. Cut flower ethics is the concept that when an idea is separated from its roots, the manner in which it was developed, it is at great risk of dying. Neutron is a non-inflationary token. All 1 billion tokens will be minted at Genesis, and so there will be no inflationary rewards. Instead, Neutron will give 25% of transaction fees back to the Cosmos Hub. We mentioned an analysis provided by Anton Pavlutsky in our previous article titled Cosmos, Crypto, and Culture. Let's examine part of it again. Pavlutsky used the numbers from daily transaction volume from popular Cosmos chains such as Osmosis, Juno, Secret, and Evmos. If one of these popular chains were being secured by replicated security from the Cosmos Hub, he calculated that at today's transaction volume, atom stakers would be yielding a whopping 0.03% APY on the value of their staked atoms. Essentially, ICS will be yielding dust for atom stakers. This calculation was done assuming the Cosmos Hub would keep 100% of the transaction fees. But now take Neutron. The first interchain security network, which is Neutron, will share only 25% to the Cosmos Hub. So these fees are to be divided by 4. In order for this to be a profitable venture for the Cosmos Hub, and especially the validators, Neutron may need to become as widely adopted as Ethereum. But even if this were to happen, the value would still be mostly flowing back to Neutron, and therefore the founders and early backers of the project. However, most advocates of Neutron in its current proposed form are arguing that Neutron's success will make atoms more money-like, and demand and value will accrue for the atom token. There doesn't appear to be any kind of economic principles that would point towards atom value accrual in the event of Neutron's success. The same individuals who promote the idea that Atom is basically just a meme coin, and that we need to do something to change that, are also trying to convince you that the main economic benefit of Neutron is that it will perpetuate the memeness of the Atom token. If you point any of this out, advocates of the current Neutron setup seem to gravitate towards the argument of, well, this is a startup, and you can't expect a startup to be profitable on day one. There is a point to be made there. However, that shouldn't be deemed as acceptable reasoning for not having an actual plan for profitability. The memeness of the Atom token is now being perpetuated through the so-called Atom economic zone. While creating an economic flywheel that would promote relevance for the Atom token seems like a reasonable idea, the projects trying to achieve this are not majority owned by the Cosmos Hub. This is why we say the meme is being perpetuated. To go a step further, this flywheel of an Atom economic zone doesn't appear to be for the community. It more so appears to be a flywheel for someone else. Another big part of this supposed Atom economic zone is making use of Stride's liquid staking protocol. Liquid staking derivatives might theoretically contribute towards tapping into liquidity, but it also opens the door to problems such as those discussed in Cosmos Hub Prop 86. Stride will be migrating to become a Cosmos Hub consumer chain, as there is currently a grant being initiated by the Atom Accelerator DAO to provide liquidity to an Atom and staked Atom pool to Astroport on Neutron. In exchange for providing all of this upfront liquidity and for providing security, Stride is only paying a mere 15% of its revenue in inflation to the Cosmos Hub. While there isn't anything inherently wrong with private blockchains or majority VC-funded chains, we cannot pretend that Neutron and Stride are extensions of the Cosmos Hub. It appears that they are more interested in latching onto the meme and extracting value from the brand, and therefore the Atom stakers. They also appear to be putting a constraint on validators, especially the smaller ones. What is the benefit to delegators and validators if we move towards cutting the smaller validators from the game and further promoting centralization? In the event of the so-called Atom economic zone not bringing the desired value accrual to the Atom token, perhaps we will learn some valuable lessons. After all, as many an Atom 2 proponent has stated in the recent past, these are all merely economic experiences, right? And your provided liquidity is the collateral damage. A couple responses to a governance lead who was displeased with community members for raising concerns about the Neutron proposal read as the following: Cosmos is lagging behind many shitcoins because we have a smaller community. Scientists make the innovation, but what drives humanity is the art and culture. The same way devs build a chain, but community should be involved in discussions. In attempting to summarize the ethos of the attitude of the governance lead who is displeased with the concerns being raised, one response read, "We're doing all this for the community because we are such righteous people. But we don't want to hear from the community because you need to just shut the fuck up and let us experts do our thing. Now buy more of our tokens so we can use your liquidity, peasant." While there is no crime in being excited about seeing Neutron's standalone technical capabilities come to life, we are hoping cosmonauts do not become blinded with that excitement. The economic tug-of-war between the Cosmos Hub and Neutron should be something that engaged cosmonauts keep an eye on in the coming months. Will it be so easy to just unplug Neutron from the hub if it's not working for the hub as envisioned? Is Cosmosm really what will take the Cosmos network to the next level? Will the current implementation of Cosmosm on Neutron via the hub feel more like Cosmphasm? Time will tell.